Hello, everyone. Welcome again. Thank you for attending the virtual travel mart and for joining in for the Swiss Travel System product presentation. My name is Nikita Raptani, and I'm a part of Team Travel Gyan. This session will be presented by Leandra D'Souza. And without much ado, Leandra, thank you for coming in. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Nikita, and welcome everybody. It's nice to meet you all, even though it's virtually. Just to introduce myself again, my name is Leandra D'Souza, and I look after the sales and marketing for the Swiss travel system here in India. And I'm part of the Switzerland tourism team based out of Mumbai. Uh, I'm just going to quickly take you through. I think the most important for us right now to talk about is the new entry requirements and how people can enter Switzerland. And I will then take you through a very special, very new training program that we've launched for the travel trade this year called the Swiss Travel System Excellence Program. So I'll be presenting now. I trust everyone can see my screen. Great. So to start with, where is Switzerland located? We're located right in the heart of Europe. We're surrounded by France, Germany, Italy, Austria, and Liechtenstein. And of course, a few of the most important entry points into Switzerland are Zurich, Geneva, Basel, and Lugano. So it's easy to combine Switzerland with other destinations as well. So, of course, right now the biggest question is traveling to and in Switzerland in these post-COVID days. There's a lot of new information, a lot of rules are changing. So, I want to quickly take you through those. Firstly, I'll start with how you can enter Switzerland, then what you can do while traveling in Switzerland, and then there's departing from Switzerland, as well as any summary and a few important links that I would like to share with you. So, first of all, to enter Switzerland, for any travel procedure and visa related queries, please feel free to write directly to the Embassy of Switzerland visa section. You can see their email ID is there as well. And of course, VFS is the one that assists with the visa processing and the document collection. So you can reach out to VFS as well. Of course, before traveling right now, taking travel insurance is more important than it ever was before. So please help your clients or advise them to choose an appropriate travel insurance that covers the medical costs as well as quarantine costs associated with COVID-19. So they know that their insurance covers all of this and there's no uncertainty or they might have to end up paying out of pocket. They can avoid that if they choose a proper travel insurance. If there is any doubt about your client's eligibility, can they travel to Switzerland? How long do they need to be quarantined? What are the requirements? The Swiss Federal Office of Public Health has set up a website called Travel Check. That's the link that you can see there. It's available for anybody, anywhere, at any time. It tells you the conditions under which one can enter Switzerland. So you can put in the details such as if my client is fully vaccinated, partially vaccinated, unvaccinated, what type of visa they have, are they visiting Switzerland, are they transiting Switzerland. You can put in all of those requirements and it will automatically tell you whether your client can or cannot enter Switzerland or what are the conditions or what are the rules under which they can enter the country. Of course, even with this, you will still need your valid immigration papers such as the passport, visa, which were needed pre-COVID as well. So those requirements are still there along with checking your eligibility on this. So the vaccine requirements for Indians on entry: Indians fully vaccinated with Covishield can enter Switzerland. They need to have 2 doses plus 15 days cooling off period. That means if they've taken their second Covishield vaccine on the 15th of September, they will be only able to travel post the 30th of September. So they need a 15 days post their second vaccine. The Sputnik and Covaxin is not approved yet. So unfortunately, if your clients have been vaccinated with the Covaxin or Sputnik vaccine, they cannot enter Switzerland. Kids under 18 traveling with fully vaccinated parents can enter Switzerland without quarantine. So even if the minors are traveling and they are not vaccinated, they don't need they don't need to quarantine in Switzerland. Only if they are between the ages of 16 to 18, when they are boarding the aircraft and when they are entering in Switzerland, they need to submit a negative RT-PCR report. That is just for kids who are between 16 to 18. Below 16 years, they don't need any RT-PCR report either. They can enter Switzerland with their vaccinated parents. So the current situation with flights, as of now, there are no direct flights to Switzerland. Swiss hasn't started operating flights from India to Switzerland yet. They are waiting for the news from the Indian government to reopen international flights as previously it was. For any rules to do with other airline partners, whether they are one of the Middle Eastern carriers or maybe one of the European carriers like Air France, Lufthansa, you will need to check with them to get more clarity on the flights operating, as well as what are the rules, what are the guidelines, what are the protocols that the Indian travelers need to follow. We recommend that you check with their respective airline partner. As well as if your client is transiting to another country on the flight or planning to combine Switzerland with another country, please check with the other country's embassies or consulates on what are the travel conditions for Indians should they be going through them. So right now, as of 13 September, there has been a new rule. EU certificates, vaccination certificates are recognized. Any official third country certificates of World Health Organization approved vaccines such as Covishield, Janssen, all of those are all recognized by Switzerland. Those who are unvaccinated or have got only one vaccine or vaccinated with Covaxin, they cannot enter Switzerland for tourism. That is not allowed. So this FOPH, that is the Swiss Federal Office of Public Health, has just set up special rules and guidelines for people entering Switzerland. And that is the link that you can see. If you visit the website bag.admin.ch, you will be able to find the link there. So that was about all about entering Switzerland. Now I'll take you to what are the requirements while traveling in Switzerland. So, traveling in Switzerland, the experience is nearly back to pre COVID times. There are a few COVID-19 related measures and ordinances in place across Switzerland, which I will tell you about. So, firstly, for non European guests, that is Indian travelers traveling in Switzerland, access to indoor venues, that also means restaurants, even the restaurant within the hotel, requires the Swiss certificate. Unfortunately, EU knowledge, so you cannot have like a lab report from here, or even the Indian vaccine certificate is not recognized. Currently, as of 13 September, there is no possibility to convert the Indian certificate into a Swiss COVID certificate. That is, as of 13 September, we are looking to see how this develops and try and find a solution to make it work. But as of 13 September, there is no possibility for conversion. So if your client is traveling with an Indian vaccine certificate, they would need to do a test. They can do an antigen test, which is valid for 48 hours, or they will need to do an RT-PCR test, which is valid for 72 hours. So they can do a test, either of these tests which they choose. And you can see the official Swiss certificate is here, which is the vaccine certificate with the barcode. It's not a laboratory report. So that's just to give you an idea of what the Swiss certificate looks like. So, what is open and when? To know pretty much all the business operators and public transport, accommodation providers, excursions, attractions are pretty much open. But our website myswitzerland.com provides information about the business hours and the operating status. So you can check that and find out what time are they open, what is the protocols needed to be followed, how, are they fully operational, what is the what basically where they are right now. It also has all the standard operating protocols and guidelines that are in place for health and safety. So, does your client need to mask? What do they need to follow? Do they need to follow social distancing? All of this information is there as well. And all the latest updated information about the travel rules, as well as the new guidelines for entering indoor venues within Switzerland. So, you can find all of this information on our website, myswitzerland.com. And if you just scroll down a little bit, there will be a link called My Travel to Switzerland, where and when is what open. So if you click on that link, you will find all this information in one place. If your client needs a COVID-19 test while in Switzerland, they can book their test through an online booking tool for the onedoc.ch. They have test centers throughout Switzerland. There's also another laboratory service called Landen Clinics. They also have an online booking tool and they have test centers across Switzerland. And you can also find the list of test centers on myswitzerland.com. So, supposing your client is in Switzerland and they have some COVID like symptoms and they want to check it, they can download the COVID tracker Swiss COVID. It gives secure and anonymous contact tracing, so they can check by themselves also if they've been unknowingly they've been in touch with anyone who has then tested positive for COVID. For self testing, the antigen tests are available in pharmacies. If they get a positive test, a positive result on the antigen test, then they will need to do a PCR test. That will be mandatory. And additionally, the test can also be done at the pharmacies, the hospitals, the laboratories across Switzerland. The PCR test takes about 24 hours to get the result. With the antigen test, your client will get the result within 20 minutes. If a traveler tests positive for COVID, they will need to isolate or quarantine at their own expense. There is no official government quarantine, or they won't be able to. They will have to basically pay for it. They can choose their own thing. The Federal Office of Public Health has established rules and instructions for isolation and quarantine. So you can visit the link again, bag.admin.ch, and it will tell you what are the rules for isolation and quarantine as well. So, of course, for Switzerland, it's very important to reassure both the trade and and the travelers that we are following all the highest hygiene and safety protocols. And from last year, mid 2020, we launched a new industry initiative called the Clean and Safe campaign. So the Clean and Safe campaign is basically that each sort of tourism service provider, whether it's the restaurants, the accommodation, the boats, the trains, the mountain excursions, they all are committing to follow safety standards based on COVID regulations and the guidelines by the Swiss government. So once all these standards have been followed, will they get this label called the Clean and Safe label. And it's all assessed externally. You have a quality management team that goes and sees that whether all the standards have been followed, all the rules, all the guidelines, and then they will get a certificate. So for instance, if you stay at a hotel and this hotel has this label called the Clean and Safe label, you can know that this is a very safe and very clean hotel and they have adhered to the standards being set. So, of course, departing from Switzerland and returning to India, for those who need to do a RT-PCR test on arrival, there is a checkpoint that's called the testing facility at Zurich Airport Terminal 2. You can either do a walk-in test, or if they want to do a fast track, they can pre-book the test. You generally get the PCR test result within 5 hours and the antigen test result within 20 minutes. So it's pretty quick. They also have group testing at hotels can be requested well. So if you have a group in Switzerland and you don't need to do the testing at the airport, you can book it through checkport and someone will come to your hotel and do the test for the entire group. So you can also pick up your PCR test then at the checkport test center at Zurich Airport. It generally takes about 5 hours. So if you give it by 7 in the morning, you will get it by 12 in the afternoon. If the test result is handed in after 5 o'clock, so that means if your client hands it in after 5 o'clock on Thursday evening, they will only get it the next day at 12 o'clock on Friday evening. So it will take them, if you give it before 5 o'clock, you will get it the next day at 12 o'clock. So just otherwise, if your client has enough time, I would suggest pre-plan it. They can do their test and then maybe go out shopping, go out in the city, do their last minute shopping, and then come back and collect their PCR test and fly out of Zurich Airport. So for anything related, any FAQs or any queries that you may have, you can visit this SEM link and you can find all the latest queries answered there. So that was just about traveling within Switzerland. What are the newest requirements and traveling in this post-COVID world that we are living in? But I want to tell you about a new training program that we've launched for the travel trade this year called the Swiss Travel System Excellence Program. It's brand new. It was just launched in March. And throughout this program, it's a very interactive program. You have these two guides, Heidi and Peter, who take you on a learning journey across the Swiss travel system. Along the way, you familiarize yourself with the modes of public transport. You can win attractive prizes, and it helps you to sort of broaden your public transport knowledge and also help you to support your client in a better way. So, what's unique about this program is that it's the only e learning program across the world that covers the entire public transport system of a country. It's organized in 3 courses: basic, advanced, and expert, and it has a total of 20 modules. However, we've been very careful and we've really used this time during the pandemic to really work on this program as much as we could. So each module should not take you more than 3 to 5 minutes, and they've done in a really fun, really interactive way. They cover a range of topics. They cover the premium panoramic trains like the Glacier Express, the Bernina Express, what are the tickets and passes available on the Swiss travel system, as well as what are the services available on the railway station. So you can sort of learn about a range of products of the Swiss travel system. At the end of each course, your level of knowledge will be tested. And if you complete all three tests, the basic, advanced, and expert, you will be certified as a Swiss travel system expert and win the diploma. And along the way, we have regular prizes. We have prizes every quarter, as well as, of course, we will have the grand prize of a trip to Switzerland every year. So that's the link to the website, mySTSnet.com e-learning. That's the e-learning program website. If you want to take a screenshot and save it, you can do that. And that's where you can start your learning journey on the public transport in Switzerland. So just to sum up with, Switzerland tourism is at your service. We have quite a few informative links where you can find information. So the first is our website, myswitzerland.com. I've told you a few things that are available there, but all the information you want to know about tourism in Switzerland, that's the website to visit. We've also launched a dedicated page for the travel trade on LinkedIn called linkedin.com/company/st.in. So you can follow us on LinkedIn and get the latest news and updates there as well. For any destination related information and to update your knowledge on Switzerland as a destination, Switzerland Tourism has our own training program called the Switzerland Travel Academy. The program has been revamped and really brought up to date. So please sign up and get certified as a Switzerland travel expert. And we are also currently in the middle of doing our webinar recordings. We've just finished the last webinar was of the Swiss travel system. We will be continuing with our webinar series from next week. And if you want to view the pre-recorded webinars, you can visit myswitzerland.com/st India webinars, and you can listen to all the pre-recorded webinars there as well. For any contact, if you need any information, you need any guidance, any help, any assistance, please feel free to reach out to us. This is our trade team. We have Mr. Ameya Kamath, who looks after the business development for leisure. You have his contact details there as well. Then you have Miss Aishwarya Guhagarkar. She looks after the MICE business to Switzerland, and she's the director for the Switzerland Convention and Incentives Bureau in India. And you can reach out to her for any MICE related queries. And of course, for anything related to public transport or traveling with a Swiss travel pass, mountain excursions, you can please feel free to reach out to me. Those are my contact details on the screen as well. And if you have any other query, please feel free to write to. If you don't know which one of us to write to, you can write to india.trade@switzerland.com and we will get back to you on your query as soon as we can. So please feel free to reach out to us and let us know anytime you need anything. Other than that, if you have any queries, please feel free to come by and meet me at my booth, the Swiss Travel System booth. I will be very happy to answer any questions or take you through the product or answer anything else that you may need to know. So, yes, that's about it from me. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to meeting you at my booth.
Thank you, Leandra. Thank you so much for the presentation and most importantly for highlighting COVID protocols and the newest requirements and post-COVID regulations. That's the most important part, and I feel it was very informative. And now we will, audience, we can move to the meetings. And like Leandra said, if there is anyone who has any questions, please feel free to meet her at the booth. Thank you so much, and looking forward to meet you again, audience, for our next presentation on Alula at 2 o'clock. See you then. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.